We're currently at the midpoint of the annual software development cycle, roughly 6 months after most of the developers rolled out their annual pitch for whatever discretionary funds you've got left after filling up your car. Those big point releases of Capture One, On1 PhotoRAW, Luminar, Lightroom, Photolab, Zoner Studio, and AC/DC had a mixed reception. Based on the comments you guys made on my videos, it turned out that many of you were hanging on for those big upgrades, and of course that Canva Affinity reveal, in the hope that you could finally kick Adobe in the bollocks and take your dosh elsewhere. And I hear similar things on the reviews of other apps I review on this channel because, as we all know, every app has its flaws and limitations, but none of them seem to hit that sweet spot that Adobe, love them or hate them, nailed with Lightroom. So in this video, I'm going to give you guys some recommendations for alternatives to Lightroom for both Windows and Mac users based around a smarter workflow. Breaking up is never easy, especially when they've still got all your negatives. Now, before I get accused of being a hypocrite, I should point out that I am not cancelling my Adobe Photography bundle. This isn't some clickbait, I ditched Adobe confessional. I make a living talking about post-processing, and pretending one of the most widely used editors doesn't exist would be dumb. But it is my job to recommend solid alternatives and to review them vigorously, which I always do. Practical considerations outweigh any animosity I have towards Adobe, but if you're a hobbyist, semi-pro or pro photographer, free to take your money wherever you please, then you have options, and I am delighted to lay them all out for you. Like all of my videos, this one is sponsored by nobody other than my long-suffering wife and these legends in my Substack and Patreon communities. If you'd like to support independent, unaffiliated and shill-free content like this, then consider joining them, links in the description. And if you've got the attention span of a teething 2-year-old glugging full sugar Coke out of a sippy cup and just want to hear the bullet points, here you go. My thought process and reasoning to follow. Whether you're on Windows or Mac, my recommendation is to build your new editing workflow around some specialized process-specific apps. Firstly, for asset management, I suggest hanging on to Lightroom. The library module remains fully functional if you stop paying a subscription, and since all your photos are probably already in it, it makes sense to continue using it. Digicam, Adobe Bridge, or Xire are solid alternatives. Secondly, run all your photos through a pre-processor such as DXO PureRAW, and the clean and optically corrected images can then be edited in pretty much any RAW editor you like, with all the basic issues already dealt with. With a beautifully tuned DNG now sitting on your hard drive, you are now free to edit your photo in any RAW editor without worrying about the app's ability to apply the holy trinity of photo corrections, lens, noise, and demosaicing. My shortlist for the actual RAW editing would be Affinity, Windows and Mac, Photomator, Mac only, Zoner Studio, Windows only, Photolab, Darktable, or an open source app such as RapidRaw. But the beauty of this setup is that it bypasses the core weakness in most RAW editors. And so actually you'll find that most apps will work well with the nicely tuned DNGs that an app like PureRAW spits out. That's the short version. Here are the details. A fundamental issue with certain RAW editors is that they do a mediocre job of the 3 things that happen before you even touch a slider. Demosaicing the sensor data into an actual image, correcting for the optical flaws in your lens, and reducing noise without turning fine detail into interference patterns. RAW files are massive strings of sensor data recorded by your camera at the time of exposure, and that raw data needs to be turned into a photo by a bit of code called a demosaicer. Now, as you might imagine, this is a complicated procedure, and some developers understandably opt to use publicly available demosaicing code rather than develop their own. Open source apps use open source RAW libraries, specifically RAWSpeed and LibRAW in the case of Darktable. RAW editors from one-man band or small development teams usually opt to use the RAW library built into the operating system in the case of macOS, or an open source library such as LibRAW. But the big boys, Adobe, DXO, Capture One, they roll their own. Yes, they all want to sell you on those flashy sliders, masks, and presets. But if the underlying file is poorly corrected, you're polishing a turd. And it's for this reason that you often see a difference in the photograph when viewed in different editors before you so much as nudge a single slider. So, using a high-quality pre-processing app is how you get the best outcome for your photo. You start out with a corrected DNG that any editor can open. Unfortunately, the market isn't exactly awash with photo pre-processing apps, and your options are limited. You basically have four candidates: DXO PureRAW, Topaz Photo, On1 NoNoise AI, and Image Restore AI. And of those four, only one, PureRAW, is a true pre-processor. But this isn't a DXO infomercial, so we're going to check them all out. If you're looking for natural results without that uncanny valley feel you sometimes get with AI noise removal, then Image Restore AI from Neural Moon is well worth checking out. It does denoising and lens distortion correction, has a batch processing mode, and can export in both DNG and TIFF formats. It's made by an independent developer who takes the natural feel of photography seriously, and it won't embellish your shots with that fake-looking people giving you a death stare, like some apps I could mention. It's a single purchase, true lifetime license, and costs 170 Australian dollars or 99 euros. You can check out my full review of the app, but bear in mind that the video was filmed nearly a year ago. On1 NoNoise is the standalone version of the denoising algorithm bundled inside On1 PhotoRAW. It does single or batch processing, AI denoising, and AI sharpening, and can export in DNG or TIFF formats. Whenever I've reviewed On1 software, I've found the denoising and sharpening tools to be consistently weak in comparison to the competition, being polite. But it's worth downloading a trial and testing on your photographs, as our algorithm may have improved. It costs 80 Australian dollars. Topaz Photo is the inventive new name for Topaz Photo AI. No idea why they rebranded with an AI in the name, particularly since AI is literally its entire shtick, but there it is. It can denoise and sharpen, has batch processing mode, and can output in DNG and TIFF formats. Topaz Photo is far more focused on fixing photographs rather than simply pre-processing them, though, and the last time I tested it, I found the models they were using at the time to be laughably bad. But it has been over a year since my review of the app, and pigs might fly, it might have improved since then. However, if you're ditching Lightroom due to the high cost of this subscription, then you'll definitely have no interest in this one because it costs $27 a month, and is not available for single purchase. That brings us along to DXO PureRAW, which is something of a unique app, and, if we're being honest, the only true pre-processor on the market. PureRAW leverages the demosaicing, denoising, and lens sharpness algorithms that DXO developed for Photolab, and it bundles them inside a smart batch processing interface with all the other photo editing tools stripped out. Over the years, it's become apparent that DXO does all of those baseline corrections better than anyone else. They have lab-tested optics profiles for specific lens and body combos, the industry-best deep prime algorithm for AI denoising, and demosaicing that pulls out more detail from the foliage and fine textures than the competition. It costs 140 Australian dollars and is available single purchase and subscription free. Lightroom does, of course, have direct competition in the shape of apps like Capture One, DXO Photolab, Zona Studio, and On1 PhotoRAW. And so, while my advice is to move to a pre-processing workflow, We do, of course, need to consider simply switching teams. But if cost is the reason you're leaving Adobe, then Capture One's going to be a hard sell. Costs $30 a month minimum on subscription or $560 a single price. More importantly, though, it has become something of a niche app these days, pitched directly at studio photographers with a tool set is finely tuned to that environment, and which makes little sense for someone like a landscape photographer. DXO Photolab is a strong choice too, with a well-rounded toolset that works well with all niches of photography. The cost of upgrading every year or two is nearly as expensive as an annual photography plan with Adobe, though. You do have the advantage of being subscription-free, so it will continue to work perfectly if you decide not to upgrade. On1 PhotoRAW offers the most direct comparison to Lightroom in terms of features, but the interface is a mess, the AI tools are subpar, and the basic sliders are in dire need of a rewrite. The reasonable $100 single purchase price attracts a lot of photographers, but reasonable and good aren't the same thing. And the bargain you get shitty results with isn't a bargain. Zola Studio is a weirdly underrepresented Lightroom alternative available for Windows users only. In my testing, I found it to be a highly competent editor with strong asset management capabilities and a very reasonable price point. However, here's another subscription-only app, and that may well be a deal breaker for some folks. It would be remiss of me not to mention DaVinci Resolve, which now has a dedicated photo page with raw editing capabilities. If you're already using Resolve for video work, then having photo editing in the same app is an appealing prospect. And Blackmagic have a strong track record of shipping meaningful updates. It's very early days for the photo page, but it's free, it's cross-platform, and if Blackmagic keep developing at the pace they develop the rest of Resolve, it could become a serious contender with appeal well beyond the faithful. Luminar Neo is also available, and that's all I've got to say about that. So those are the all-in-one options, but let's say, sensible person that you are, that you follow my advice and go the pre-processor route. Before we talk editors, we need to talk asset management as well. Lightroom is also an asset management app, of course, and assuming you don't want to let the operating system handle it, you might be thinking that you'll need something to step in and take its place. But actually, you can just continue using Lightroom. This is because even if you stop paying your subscription, develop and map modules get disabled, but the main library module in Lightroom Classic remains fully active. All of the titles, captions, flags, keywords, labels, and IPTC data remains intact and fully accessible. And yes, you can even continue importing new photos into that library with an expired subscription. You can create new catalogs, use export, publish, print, web galleries, and slideshows. You can even use the quick develop sliders in that library module to do some very basic edits. All of which sounds like the perfect solution for anyone wanting to transition themselves away to alternatives. But if you'd rather cut the cord completely, then either Digican or Adobe Bridge are completely free, and either will do a great job. We could go for a commercial app such as Xire, Photomechanic, Peak2, or PixelPath. So we've got our pre-processor and our asset management sorted. Now we just need something to actually edit the photos, and luckily there are plenty of options. I've already mentioned Photolab, Capture One, On1 PhotoRAW, and Luminar, but you may prefer to move to a lighter, more specialist app, something that's more focused on that straight editing environment. Mac users have it really good when it comes to specialized RAW editors. Photomator, Nitro, Musebox, and Darkroom are all great. Or you could opt for the built-in Photos app, which has a surprisingly decent editing capability. But if you want a stronger combination of RAW and bitmap editing to more closely replicate that old Lightroom/Photoshop combo, then Affinity is ideally suited to the job and is, of course, completely free. Windows users can use Affinity too, but I'd suggest checking out Zola Studio, which surprised me with its capabilities when I reviewed it last year. To keep costs down, open source is the way forward, and RapidRAW, Darktable, and RAW Therapy are all strong in different ways. RapidRAW is a rapidly maturing RAW editor with a clean, modern interface and a smart approach to non-destructive editing, and a surprisingly powerful feature set. Darktable is the power user's playground, insanely configurable and deep, with modules for pretty much everything, if you're willing to learn its quirks and noob-destroying terminology. RAW Therapy, on the other hand, leans into maximum image quality and fine-grained control with some of the best demosaicing and detail tools around, although that UI feels pretty retro. Together, they cover most use cases. RapidRAW for everyday editing, Darktable when you want total control, and for finishing touches, Affinity to the rescue. So actually, breaking up with Adobe can be beneficial to your photographic workflow. We've been conditioned to think that a photo app needs to be the kitchen sink variety, doing everything from import to export. But there's a hell of a lot to be said for letting specialists do what they're best at and stitching the workflow together yourself. Firstly, split pre-processing off into its own lane, and you solve a whole raft of issues before you even begin. Secondly, if you're coming from Lightroom, then continue using Lightroom as your asset manager. Think of it as a little bit of payback for all that money you've sunk into Adobe over the years. Thirdly, use whatever RAW editor gets you the best results, irrelevant of whether it costs you a penny or not, because when a pre-processor has already done the heavy lifting, the gap between a free editor and a $300 one shrinks dramatically. Separating these three strands of the digital photography workflow into individual elements also means you can switch parts out when they're no longer working for you. If you're a Lightroom/Photoshop user rather than just a straight Lightroom user, then keep using Lightroom for asset management and use PureRAW for pre-processing and Affinity for RAW or bitmap editing. For my Mac homies, consider using Photomator or Nitro as your RAW editor, with Lightroom or Apple Photos at the asset end and PureRAW as your pre-processor. That's a 3-app workflow that covers everything Lightroom does, arguably does most of it better, and leaves Adobe with nothing but catalog duties. If you're a Windows user, then my advice is to check out Zoner Studio. It can easily handle asset management roles too, but I'd still keep a pre-processor in the loop. For the open source crowd, you don't have any pre-processor options, but Darktable is more than capable of producing quality results. And if the design puts you off, RapidRAW is well worth a look. Friends, for the first time in a while, there are solid options available to you if the Adobe Photography Bundle has lost its shine. The whole point of photography is creative freedom, and there are ways to exercise that freedom without sabotaging your wallet or your workflow. And you've just got to be willing to rethink how the pieces fit together. Give it a go. You've got nothing to lose except a direct debit. And that'll do us for this look at a post-Adobe workflow. Have you filed for divorce yet, or are you just in counseling? Do let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you got value from it, then do consider subscribing to my channel or joining my Substack and Patreon communities. Links in the description below. Till the next time, guys. Ta-ta.